Hello everybody, my name is Michaela Browning. I'm from Google. Thank you to the Asia Development Bank for hosting this important symposium today and bringing us together to think about this critical challenge of climate change in our region. Many of the speakers this morning have spoken to us to remind us that our region is particularly vulnerable to some of the impacts of climate change. I did want to situate Google, first of all, in the discussions that we've had this morning, including to think about what it is that a company like Google is thinking in terms of our commitment to sustainability and how technology can help, and to situate Google and Google's thinking about global value chains and our supply chain in terms of how we address some of the issues that we're facing. So thank you for the opportunity, and I know I'm standing between you and lunch, so I'm going to try and speak quite quickly this morning. So what is Google's commitment to sustainability, and how can technology help? Achieving net zero, especially in Southeast Asia, as we've heard this morning, needs active participation by multiple stakeholders. At Google, since we were founded in 1998, we've built sustainability into everything that we do. Our net zero goals build on 2 decades of climate action. We started in 2010 purchasing renewable energy, and in 2017 we became one of the first major companies to match 100% of our electricity use with renewable energy purchases. But in 2020 we set our most ambitious goal yet, and that is to achieve carbon zero by 2030 across all of our operations, including through our supply chain. And that's a very big commitment. How can we do that? Well, for us to achieve our goal, and as we've heard this morning, everything has to be done in partnership. We need partners to achieve our goal, and in progressing our goal, we can also help others achieve theirs. In our 24/7 carbon-free policy roadmap, we highlight key drivers to decarbonise grids around the world for us to achieve our goals. And we heard a little bit about what those drivers are from other speakers this morning, but let me repeat what the 3 pillars are from our perspective. Firstly, to accelerate the development and deployment of carbon-free energy technologies. Second, to create and expand regional and competitive wholesale electricity markets. And third, to ensure all consumers have cost-effective access to clean energy. In Asia, where the transition is particularly challenging, as we've heard this morning, Google works closely with industry and government across all 3 of those pillars to bring the system-level transformation that we need for a carbon-free electricity future. What else can we do to help address some of the challenges that we see, not just in terms of our own goals at Google? Well, we are very committed to empowering everyone to make more sustainable choices and to having the information they need to understand what the challenges are. So whilst we're committed to reaching our own goals, we've also made a very bold commitment to help 1 billion people make more sustainable choices. How do we do that? Well, firstly, Google is very proud that we have the cleanest cloud offering in the world, and so that can help businesses and those who use our cloud technology to achieve their goals. But we're also thinking about how to be helpful through our products and services. How can we make sustainable choices easier to see, easier to choose for everybody? So, for instance, when people are planning a trip and they go to Google Flights, they will see automatically the associated CO2 emissions so that they can choose more eco-friendly flights, but they can also see the impact that their activities are having. We also want to help accelerate action through partnership. We believe that our impact is far greater when we work together, and in fact that's very necessary. And this is why we collaborate with thousands of partners across multiple industries, from governments to companies and to non-profits. What do we do with governments? Well, let me give you some examples. I think we heard a little bit this morning about urbanisation and emissions. Well, over half of the global population lives in cities, and urban areas account for over 2/3 of global energy use and carbon emissions. So, to help us reduce these emissions, we aim to help more than 500 cities and local governments reduce an aggregate of 1 gigatonne of carbon emissions annually by 2030. How do we do that? One example is that we are working through tools like our Environmental Insights Explorer, which empowers regions like West Nusa Tenggara in Indonesia with actionable data and insights to inform their policy decisions. We also have Project Greenlight, for example, an AI tool that provides recommendations for city planners to optimise traffic light timing to help reduce traffic and therefore reduce emissions. And that's 2 examples. What are we doing with businesses? I mentioned earlier that through Google Cloud, which we're very proud of as being the cleanest cloud offering in the industry, we are helping businesses like real estate developer Lendlease in Australia meet their sustainability goals by reducing their emissions and making their processes and supply chains more sustainable. We also work in coalitions with others. We're a founding member of the Asia Clean Energy Coalition, ACEC, which was launched at COP27. ACEC mobilises the collective power of energy buyers in collaboration with suppliers and financiers to rapidly improve the policy and regulatory environment for corporate renewable energy procurement in Asia. It has very ambitious goals, and we think that working in coalition makes a considerable difference in this regard. And then what are we doing with not-for-profits? And this is relevant to our announcements today. Well, last year, Google.org, our philanthropic arm, announced a commitment to support non-profits addressing sustainability challenges throughout the Asia Pacific. With $3 million in Google.org funding last year, we supported the Asia Venture Philanthropic Network, AVPN, to launch an APAC Sustainability Seed Fund in partnership with the Asian Development Bank. And today, we are very proud to announce that 13 non-profits from across the region have been selected to receive funding. And they will receive funding to scale their environmental projects using technology in areas such as clean energy, access to renewable energy, and adaptation to the effects of climate change, working locally in communities to develop technological solutions to the sustainable challenges that they see and are facing around them. Not-for-profits like Yayasan Solar Chapter Indonesia, who is leveraging cloud computing to optimise the monitoring of solar-powered water systems in East Nusa Tenggara, and Water Stewardship Asia Pacific, which is driving large-scale water preservation and the use of online tools and platforms across Australia. We are also working with non-profits to increase their visibility on the internet through donated search advertising at Google. We are helping non-profits share information, to fundraise, to raise awareness through that donated advertising. And this includes organisations like the Singapore Environment Council, which is promoting a national Singapore Green Plan, and Nature Conservancy, which is raising awareness of climate change across Australia, Hong Kong, and throughout the region. These organisations have already been able to reach an additional 10 million people drawing attention to their activities and receiving donations through that donated advertising. And we look forward to continuing that support with them. As I mentioned earlier, Google's belief has always been that the best ideas can come from anywhere and that we need to support that. And that is why, in addition to funding the work that non-profits do, we also want to find ways to help them scale their impact. And one of the best ways that we think is through technology, to digitally transform their operations, or to use that technology, like AI, to deliver their solutions at scale and to more people. And with this in mind, I'm also proud to announce today that we are supporting Info Exchange's capacity building program with $1 million grant in google.org grant funding. Through this program, Info Exchange will help 50 non-profits from 12 geographies around the region to digitally transform their organisations by upskilling them to adopt new technologies and to leverage best practices and hopefully make them more impactful. So in closing, we all know that this is a decisive decade for climate change, addressing climate change, and especially in our region. I wanted to finish by sharing a video of some of the inspiring AVPN seed funding recipient organisations that we're very proud to announce today have received those important grants. Thank you very much.
Australia is experiencing more frequent and extreme weather events. These changes are impacting water availability for our riverine ecosystems, communities and industry that rely upon them.
In Indonesian rural areas, stakeholders have developed water systems to address the water scarcity issue. Due to lack of monitoring, these facilities often fail and have a short lifespan.
Marine depletion has become a global phenomenon that is not only the marine ecosystem but also impacts climate change.
The backing to fight climate change cannot be achieved by any one organization alone. We want to inspire more collaboration in the region through this fund.
Azure has developed a fully electric UAV to remove plastics from the harbor and the waterway.
Advancing the sustainable development of rural areas to empower local leaders with access to real-time data, enabling them to make data-driven decisions and anticipate pump malfunctions.
Water Stewardship Asia Pacific aims to develop a highly automated digital platform for the tracking and reporting of water stewardship actions and impacts.
We at the ADB are honored to be a strategic partner to the Sustainability Seed Fund. Digital innovation will help lower the cost of decarbonization technologies, which then helps attract capital which is needed to drive change.
We're seeing amazing work happening across critical topics such as water preservation, protecting biodiversity, decarbonization, and more. The Sustainability Seed Fund will help unlock that potential.